The die of fate had been cast. Reporting to a public agency, which we'd kept being warned could instead result in something far worse for Satoko if we didn't have the evidence first. And just like that. Had I failed? Had I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment? Probably. Maybe I should have stayed silent and left everything to Mion, since she had been relatively calm. I remembered the punishment game where we had to badmouth Curry, and how me saying anything would have made it worse, and Satoko told us to leave the talking to her. Maybe it was the same thing here. I was so impulsive, so maybe I should have just shut up and looked at the floor. But it was too late to lament it. The die I had thrown wouldn't be coming back into my hands. All we could do was pray for something good to happen. Oh, he fucked up. Keiichi, you did everything you could. So leave it to the teachers now. Okay? Everything I could? If I really gave it everything I had, if I had really struggled, I would have dragged Satoko out of her house last night and hidden her in some abandoned house. I didn't, so that means I didn't do everything I could. Stop thinking about it, alright? You're being a little too persistent, Keiichi-kun. At least at this rate you'll just collapse. Just leave me alone. I left her with those words and stared lazily up at the ceiling. You're a fucking dick. I wonder if I'd really got Chie-sensei to understand. Would the public agency intervene and solve everything within the day? Probably not. Could they acknowledge the abuse and guarantee your safety? After lunch break, our afternoon classes were mostly self-study. The teacher came back to the classroom occasionally, but then the phone in the lounge would ring and she'd have a long conversation with the caller. Everyone in the class got the feeling they knew what the phone calls were about. Fuck. Sensei came trotting back from the classroom. I'm really sorry for all the phone calls recently. Let's call today. President, please lead the class. Everybody stand up. It looked to me like Sensei had been wearing a dark expression ever since after lunch. It wasn't a very relieving expression. It wouldn't be. Even if Sensei 100% understood the situation and passionately explained it to the other person. At the end, the Child Consultation Center, as a public agency, would be the ones to decide whether to get her to safety. Sensei understood that as well as us. That's why she looks so unreliable right now. Kei-chan, let's go home. I don't think anyone feels like having the club today. Yeah, sure, I'll go home with you. Mi-chan, it's no fun if someone's not here. Reno was right. It was no fun for us if someone was missing. If the teacher's expression had shown more promise, then maybe we could have gone home more comfortably. But I couldn't let myself feel relieved. I couldn't be so naive and tell myself all I can do is pray now that the die has been cast. Just in case they didn't get her to safety and decided to wait and see again. I'd need to take further measures. We've asked the people who could do something official already. Then there was one more place that was worth asking for help. Don't go to Oishi. She might laugh it off, or I might be right, and I could be endangering my own life. But I'd try. Oh, Mion. Is it okay if I stop by your place today? Yes! Yes! It's probably because Takuno assumes the Sonozaki family's evil. And that's why he's going there, to get him to be cursed and all that good old stuff. But, I still like the excuse. You've got a lot of manga, right? I want to borrow a bunch of them. Huh? Sure, I guess. There was an ominous meaning behind my words, so Mion realized what I really meant right away. I wanted to talk about something alone. Hell yeah. That's what I meant. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun, let's go home. Rena already had her shoes on and was waving to us from the schoolyard. Mion's house was gigantic in every way imaginable. The house itself was a vaguely old-fashioned traditional Japanese house, but the yard, I guess, or their plot of land was enormous. It easily convinced me that they really were major landowners with Hinamizawa under their thumb. Mion brought me through. God damn it. Mion brought me through the guest room, and a servant brought us some tea. Oh yeah. Wow, you really are rich, huh? You've even got housekeepers? Grandma and I are the only ones who live here. I wouldn't be able to do everything here myself. The servant left, telling us it was 5 o'clock, then withdrew with soft footsteps. We have people come in and take care of Grandma and clean 2 or 3 times a week. They come in rotations of 3 or 4, so there's someone here almost every day. Only until evening, though. Oh, and if we're having a party or something where we need more help, we call up different people. If you had the money to hire all those people, then just take Satoko. God damn it. Don't even fucking begin with that. I glared at her as I thought that, and Mion seemed to catch on immediately. Oh, sorry. It's fine. I know it's not a money problem. Just to be clear, my family may be rich, but it's not money that I can use freely for myself, okay? I don't want you to misunderstand that. It kind of looked like I was bullying her. Yeah, you kind of are. Mion had been apologizing to me a lot lately, and you were being a douche about it. Was Mion the sort of person who would do that this much? Maybe it's just that I've been looking so grim lately. So, what's up? You had something to talk about, right? I have something pretty serious to discuss, Mion. This will be sudden, and you might be surprised, but I want you to hear me out. Huh? What? Oh, I'll give you a way out first. Even if what I say is true, you don't need to admit it. You're allowed to play dumb. But I want you to listen until the end. I have something to say to the next leader of what's still the most important of the 3 families of Onagafuchi Village, Mion Sonozaki. Oh my god. Fuck, you cannot believe it's serious. Come on. At first, Mion looked like she had no idea what I was saying, but at hearing the whole sentence and putting it together, she reacted. Where did you hear that? It doesn't really matter. I definitely couldn't tell her who told me. Takano, who told me not to, but please forgive me, told me not to. This was why I asked you about it after all. I was surprised just you've heard of Onagafuchi Village, Kei-chan. You seem to know a lot of things, both true and false, about me too. Yeah, true and false. I really might just have the wrong impression here. But I'm okay with that, so listen. And if it really is true, watch her not be the next heir. Watch it. Fucking watch it. I don't know what you're getting at, Kei-chan, but let me say this beforehand. You've got a big misunderstanding. So if it were possible, I wouldn't want to hear what you're about to say. Because even if you said it, I couldn't do anything to help you. Still, if talking about it will lighten your burden even a little, I'll listen. I'm only just going to listen. Nothing more will happen. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Mion seemed to know what kind of thing I'd be talking about. She warned me that doing so would be fruitless. That much was obvious. If what I was going to say was true, then the Sonozaki family would be the masterminds behind the string freak deaths that had been occurring every year in Hinamizawa. You know that stuff about Oyashiro-sama's curse, right? Mio nodded a little. No one knows what it is or why it happens. Even if each incident is solved, the string of deaths and accidents as a whole is still a mystery. But there's one thing connecting them all, and that's how the targets are always enemies of the village. Seems like it. Mion spoke as if it didn't relate to her. That was fine. She didn't have to admit it. For now, I just wanted her to stay quiet and listen to me. You really think she's behind everything? What the fuck? Why would she give a fuck? The day after tomorrow, it's Watanagashi, isn't it? Has the sacrifice for this year's curse been decided already? Mion didn't answer. Her expression remained the same too. Like she said, she was just quietly listening. Sorry. The promise was that you'd just listen, so it's weird for me to ask a question, huh? Mion gave a look she'd never given me before, a faraway look, a sympathetic one. She didn't nod, she just smiled faintly and listened to me. If this year's curse isn't going to be on Satoko's uncle, then please change it to him. I mean, last year was her aunt, right? It's in the right order, so it wouldn't be weird. You're right, it seems like there's an order. I mean, after her aunt died to the curse last year, he abandoned Satoko and fled into town for a whole year. Why wouldn't a guy like that definitely be next on the Oyashiro-sama's list? There shouldn't be any issue with choosing him for this year. Again, I still want Oishi to die. Particularly here, because I fucking hate that prick. Because I guarantee if she had a say in it, she definitely said, yeah, put fucking Oishi's name down. I guess that would be nice. I see. If he were to die from the curse this year, no one would see anything unusual about it. I heard that Oyashiro-sama's curse as well. No matter how I looked at it, I wasn't sure whether I should continue. No matter how I tried, the words wouldn't come out. The string of freak deaths in Hinamizawa, also called Oyashiro-sama's curse, you're saying they're incidences perpetrated by the village, carried out by the three families at the Sonozaki's instruction, is that it? I wasn't. I don't care one bit whether you have anything to do with it. I'm just saying, if you have any way of communicating with whoever decides the targets of the curse, then I just want you to tell them to choose Satoko's uncle. Please. Everything you've been saying has been terrible. If the freak death incidences in Hinamizawa were carried out by the will of the Sonozaki family, that would mean the main culprit would be me, wouldn't it? I would have chosen the target of the curse, given the instructions, killed many people, and gotten rid of others. You're calling me a murderer, Kei-chan? Oh God, it's hurting my heart. This hurts. Stop it. I didn't say that. Didn't you listen to me? I don't care whether you're the one behind the murders or not, I just don't. Even if you were the culprit, it doesn't change the fact that you're my friend. It doesn't matter at all. See, he completely missed the opportunity to say, no, you're not a fucking murderer. How could I ever believe you would be? I mean, it's just, don't say, oh, I don't care if you're behind it, because I know you're behind it, because that just sounds so much worse. If the police were chasing you, I'd come to help. I'd make you an alibi and even help you escape. Hell yeah, I would. Fuck yeah. I don't give a fuck. If it's someone I like and care for, I don't give a fuck if I'm aiding and abetting. Fuck it. I'll make up a story. Because you were friends and comrades. Comrade, aren't we? Mion looked surprised for a while. Aww. She was dumbfounded. Now you're declaring yourself complicit. Kei-chan, that's pretty bold of you. Come on, don't interrupt. Satoko's uncle, choose him for... Stop right there, Kei-chan. I want to start on dinner soon, so I'd like to leave things at this. Mion! I then realized that my cheeks were wet with tears. They slid down my chin and fell, drip drop, to the tatami mat. It's like I said at the start, you've got a big misunderstanding. Oyashiro-sama's curse is just that. Even if there were people behind those incidences, they don't have anything to do with the Sonozaki family, or me either. Right. I understand that. It's just... It was touching to hear such a desperate plea, Kei-chan, but that was all it was. Even if I wanted to help, I can't. You understand that too, right? Yeah. But now I know how you feel, so well it hurts. If I really were, like you said, the one controlling the three families and choosing the sacrifices every year, I'd probably grant your wish. Mion. But the reality is different. I'm just Mion Sonozaki. My family may be the subject of all sorts of bad rumors about controlling Hinamizawa from the shadows, but we have nothing to do with the freak deaths. We may have been a little extreme during the damn war, but that's all. We would never do something so insane as to kill people. Don't say such sad things. Right now, at least. I don't care. Why can't you just be nice and lie to me? Kei-chan, you're free to believe what you like. If I lied to you now, you'd be convinced Satoko would be freed the night after tomorrow, and you'd be able to shed much of your burden. However, reality is harsh. Satoko's uncle will survive beyond that day. He'd still be alive next week and the week after that. You need to prepare yourself for that. I don't want you coming to me after the day after Watanagashi and demand to know why he wasn't killed. Mion. Mion stood up slowly, closed the sliding door to keep out the wind that had grown chilly. Damn. Was it Mio? Did she give you all those ideas? She really likes to misunderstand things about Hinamizawa. Well, we can let her have her fun. But I don't really want her influencing you, Kei-chan. Jeez. This is why outsiders are no good. Takano has nothing to do with it. Right. Don't worry. Even though I know she told you about it, Kei-chan, there's nothing going to happen. It's not like Mio will be chosen for this year's curse. Oh god, she's dead. Besides, we don't even know for sure if the curse will happen this year. Maybe it was all just a pile of unfortunate coincidences. Thanks for listening. If you aren't connected to serial deaths at all, then that must have been an uncomfortable conversation. I'll apologize for it. I see. You'll apologize for it. Mion said she didn't have much time, but she still brought me to the gate. She said she had a meeting or something today about Sunday's Watanagashi festival, so there would be a lot of people from the town council and the festival committee coming. Despite her day being so busy, she still listened to what I had to say. That's because she's a good fucking person. If there's a God in heaven, then he probably understands how strongly you feel. Yeah. I'm really sorry for being so weird today. You can pretend like this discussion never happened if you want. Okay. I'll forget about it. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, she's too damn nice. Oh my god. Oh god. She's too nice. Oh my god. That's just too nice. Words can't describe how nice that is. I'd really only spent a short time with Mion. Talking to her made me think. It was clear that what Takano had told me at least wasn't a complete fabrication. If Mion was really unconnected to the incidents, then she probably wouldn't have listened to me so quietly. Why not? That makes no sense. Because she obviously cares about you, so she's going to hear you through regardless, knowing that you care deeply about the subject and really want to talk about it, enough that you actually went to her house and all that. And all that stuff. I mean, a good friend or good partner, relationship, significant other, whatever. Someone that truly enjoys your presence isn't going to just interrupt you. They'll listen to you quietly, no matter what the charges you're leveling against them. She heard me out until I was done without making any quips, and I wanted to think that was proof. It's not. I did kind of feel like I was grasping at straws. Of course, thinking back on it was a terrible thing to discuss. I mean, I went to my friend's house, called her a serial murderer, and then told her to kill Satoko's uncle. I was the only one talking that whole time. Mion quietly listened to everything I had to say, like a pastor listening to a confession. She could have gotten angry partway through, told me off, and to go wash my face in miso soup and come back later. But she didn't. Was that proof that Mion's family, the Sonozaki, were the masterminds? Or was she just listening because she felt sorry for me going kind of crazy? Probably the latter. I didn't know which it was. But it was the one effort I would make at the moment. It was another form of insurance. Should worse come to worse, the public agency decided to wait and see. It was a completely useless resistance, literally grasping at straws. Since they said that if she reported it to the Child Consultation Center, they'd have to respond to it on the same day. Could they already be in the middle of responding to it now? Don't go there. If Satoko came to school tomorrow morning all energetic, then everything would be just a needless fear. Why couldn't tomorrow come faster? That night was unusually hot and humid, and I couldn't get to sleep. I said all that to Sensei. They couldn't possibly decide to wait and see again this year. Satoko was like, what was it like for her tonight? Had she tasted the end of her nightmare, enjoying a night of liberation? I actually put my hands together and prayed into my futon. Yeah, you know that she's got fucking beat to hell and back. You know it. Good morning, Geiichi-kun. Good morning. Thank goodness. I thought you overslept today, too. Your mom said you'd gone on ahead yesterday and that you weren't at school. I was worried that you'd gotten a heat stroke halfway there. Yeah, I'm very sorry for all of the worry I caused you yesterday. Hey, good morning. Mi-chan, good morning. Oh, you really stink of liquor. You'll get found out for sure. Oh, right, there wasn't there a big business meeting with all the people on the town council yesterday? They only called it that. It was more like a party. We had the festival every year, right? We wouldn't have any annoying meetings at this point. Are you going to help out with the festival this afternoon then? Yep, I have to do a meet and greet with all sorts of people in Grandma's place. Besides, they already started setting up for the festival. I don't suppose I can help her meet and greet people as well, because that would be too easy. That would be too nice. Our morning conversation was light-hearted as usual. It looked like Mion had thankfully forgotten about how I barged into her house yesterday with that crazy talk. The more I think back on it, I felt like I really said something terrible to her. You did. I was really thoughtless, and it wouldn't have been weird if she'd yelled at me. It was highly possible Takano exaggerated her story. I think she's a little crazy, in my opinion. She's a little bit crazy. So I'd take everything she says with a fucking grain of salt. To think that our comrade and friend Mion, the young leader of the Sonozakis, one of the three families effectively controlling Hinamizawa, was pulling the strings behind the serial death incidences was a little unbelievable. Oh, she accused Mion of doing? Oh, fuck that bitch. Oh, I hope she dies. She deserves it. Fuck her. How would a child be doing this? Because it happened 5 years earlier. What, she'd be like 13. She's not fucking telling people to go kill someone at 13 years old. Come on. Come on. She's too nice and too kind-hearted to do that. Shion would do it because she's a scary, scary person. But if there was even a 1% chance that was true, then what I said yesterday to Mion might have been a success. Yes, if it was no more than 1 in 100. But that little bit of effort might have brought the chances of saving Satoko up by even a tiny bit. At least I'd made that effort. After yesterday, and I was sure I'd done everything I possibly could. If there was something else I could do, it was probably just to clap my hands and pray that Satoko's uncle would be killed by the curse. I hope Satoko makes it today. Me too. Sensei's doing things for her, right? I'm sure it'll be fine. My aunt is a welfare agent in the Hinamizawa district. I gave her a call last night. Huh? I didn't know your aunt was a welfare officer. What happened? Did you tell her about Satoko? Yep. Chie-sensei called the child consultation center right after we talked to her. The child welfare officer apparently visited her before the night was over. My aunt said that they were going to pay visits at regular intervals from now on. Enough with the dumb little stuff. I want to know what happened to Satoko. Did they get her safe? I wasn't that informed about it. I was supposed to keep this a secret anyway. Her telling me was a big breach of ethics in the first place. Damn, that makes me feel even worse. Let's get to school. She'll probably be there. Right. Discussing this more would just make us feel worse. It was far quicker to go to school and see if Satoko was safe or not. The three of us nodded and ran off. Was Satoko safe? What measures had the child consultation center taken? I didn't care what, as long as we could go back to our peaceful life with Satoko today. It didn't matter to me. At the shoe rack at the entrance, Rina took a peek in Satoko's shoe cubby. Ah, Satoko's shoes are here. They're here. Kei-chan, Satoko came. Thank goodness. We don't know if anything happened just because she came to school. Can't know anything until we see her face. We trotted towards the classroom. Probably a trap on it. Probably. The classroom was lively as it usually was in the morning. Oh, guess not. Satoko, where are you?
Meep, she's right here. It's too early in the morning to be so loud. Would you please keep it down a bit?
Satoko, are you okay? All of our friends crowded around Satoko excitedly.
A probation officer came, right? How did it go?
Who was it that called them?
I swear, it was quite a mess, you know.
It was the teacher. You were absent for so long, of course she was worried. Satoko said I told you I'm fine under her breath. She was still trying to overcome all the suffering on her own. It was a big bother to both me and my uncle. That person just barged on us suddenly. Jeez.
Everyone was worried about you, Satoko. Don't say it was a bother.
Ah, jeez. Anyway, what happened?
Oh, damn it. Nothing happened. Oh, my cold got better, so I came back to school, that's all. I can't take too much time off from now on, because then you'll all worry about me.
What was Satoko saying?
What happened to, well, your uncle? Oh, he admitted there were some misunderstandings, and we both apologized.
Tug. Rika grabbed the back of my collar and pulled me away. Meaning, basically, she said there isn't any abuse going on. And that now he's going to actually have to send her to school every day. What is it, Rika? Rika suddenly dragged me all the way into the hallway. Rika, what did that mean?
Satoko said nothing was happening and chased them away.
Hey, look, I'd right. That idiot. But why? No, somewhere in my mind I thought it might turn out like this. Satoko didn't ask for anyone's help. She didn't hide behind anyone. She was trying to ride out this pain. She wanted to show Satoshi proof that if he came back to them, she wouldn't need to hide behind him anymore.
But Coach said probation officers can bring her to safety in an emergency even if it's against her wishes. However much Satoko denies the abuse, it's a fact.
Shiei-sensei finally came. Her expression was far more cheerful.
Yes, you're right, Mayabara. If the child welfare officer determines that it's an emergency, they have the right to immediately take them to safety, regardless of the affected party's intent.
Then why? Why is Satoko's intent being respected so much? It's weird. Why don't they put her into safety?
Well, after the person in charge at the child consultation looked into it from many angles, they determined...
What the hell was that? Sensei, didn't you say it was going to be alright, since you definitely save her? What's the meaning of this? This doesn't make any sense. Answer me, damn it.
Keiichi, this is actually the third time someone has reported Satoko's child abuse. It happened twice in the past, too.
Furude. Sensei tried to stop her, but Rika went on speaking anyway. Twice before. I heard they decided to wait and see after reporting it to the winner before last, but it happened before then too?
Satoko's father who died wasn't her real father.
What? Rika, that's what? I'm stunned at the sudden revelation. I had no idea what Rika wanted to tell me, but it seemed really important, so I couldn't get a word in either.
Satoko's mother remarried.
She brought Satoko and Satoshi with her, so they weren't related by blood to their father. Satoshi was a good kid who listened politely to what adults told him. He immediately welcomed by their new father and was loved. But Satoko was different. She was rebellious. She told lies. She played pranks. Oh no. Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me she did a false claim. Oh, the worst thing you could do as a child is a fucking false claim. Her stepfather didn't like her at all. What? So what do you mean?
Even before she was given to her uncle and his wife, Satoko didn't have a very good relationship with her family.
Of course her stepfather didn't have any malicious intent at the start. At first he must have worked hard to get his new daughter to accept him. But the young Satoko didn't make any effort at all towards that end. She was distant toward her stepfather and never opened her heart to him even a little. She just got on his nerves all the time with seemingly forced lies and pranks. Her father's discipline and punishment must have been loving at first, of course, but that too faded quickly. I don't know because I wasn't in Hinamizawa at the time, but I learned this on the phone yesterday. What story did you hear, Sensei? Fuck. That Satoko wanted to trick her parents, especially her stepfather, so she inflicted wounds on herself so she could make up so she could make up a false story about abuse, and that she sent out an SOS herself. Oh my god. Oh, that's the worst thing you can do as a child. Oh, crying wolf of abuse, that is the worst. Because nothing sets those officers off more than that. And they never fucking take it serious after that. It always never ends up good with fucking with child services like that. Whenever a child and is caught lying doing that, oh my god. God, that's fucked. She made up a story about hurting herself? Satoko made a fake phone call to try and get rid of the father she hated. Child welfare officers rushed there and heard the story. Her father genuinely apologized for a few times when he had gone too far and agreed to let the child welfare center give him coaching. Regardless, agencies looked into it quite a bit. They determined that Satoko and her stepfather's hearts not being matched up was the cause of the incident. But they found another problem above that, with Satoko. Problem with Satoko? What was that? That she false claimed. Satoko's mother, there were a few times where she had lived with a de facto husband, though those relationships didn't result in remarriage. From a young age, Satoko had been forced to call at least 2 or 3 people her father. Oh god, that's fucked. At some point, Satoko's pranks escalated. She would spill food on purpose, turn over a plate, or even throw it. She'd break the windows in the neighborhood and shoplift candy. Oh my god, she is fucked up. Fuck her. I don't give a shit about her. She'd put thumbtacks down everywhere and set other traps to seriously hurt people. Not in the way she did now, just to get laughs. She was also fond of telling lies that would be found out right away, and people got mad at her every time. But she never ever changed her behavior. Please don't think Satoko was a problem child. She is. Satoko was young. It was an act of self-defense that she had to take against the unknown men her mother had chosen. In regards to Satoko's problematic behavior, childhood psychology experts from public institutions indicated her actions were to draw her mother's attention to herself. Yes, but there's also the issue of hurting people and stealing and breaking property. That's where it crosses the line of trying to get attention. They acknowledged that she had a form of harmful emotional trauma and declared that she needed counseling and therapy from professionals. They didn't know whether the therapy had healed the wounds in her heart. Satoko purposely hurt herself and told them that she was being abused by her stepfather in an attempt to chase them out. But in the end, her stepfather did abuse her, right? No. All of the abuse had been made up by Satoko. Her stepfather, of course, may have scolded her in a somewhat emotional way, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. Fucking right. God, it's always an issue. It's so hard, these situations. Satoko had lied to chase away her stepfather, and they saw right through her right away, and found out that Satoko had issues. Oh, could it be that's why the winter before last they decided to wait and see? Yeah. The Child Consultation Center had all their past records, so they need to act carefully in case Satoko is lying. What the hell? So what? Satoko might be telling a lie, so they needed to be careful? Yes, because there's no point of... You can't just take a person's child away when there's no proof of it. That's terror. That's even worse. When you take a child away from a parent that genuinely loves their child, but the child made up a story, it's a joke, or a prank. Yeah, you can't just say, oh, it's just a fucking prank. Oh no. This is one of those times that it's not just a prank. It's like calling 911 as a prank. You cannot do that. It is fucked up. Oh, people get pissed when they get arrested for it. Or like have to pay a huge fine. Yeah, no shit, you're wasting police time. What if someone had a heart attack and try and call 911 and it's busy with a fuckwads joking around with a police officer? Or just the line. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Of course they're gonna be pissed. It's serious. Someone could die while you're on the phone with them. And I believe it should have at least a 1-year jail sentence. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck. Have a slap them in jail or probation for a year. Screw them. They don't deserve it. So how does that mean they just end up waiting and seeing? It was the girl who cried wolf. Oh, I already said it. The worst thing you can do, cry wolf. It is the worst. Because it immediately sets the precedent that they're always lying. You can never do that. It is the worst thing a child can do. Because if it comes legitimate, it's really hard to overcome it. That fable about telling a lie once, making others unwilling to believe you later. That's bullshit. The past has nothing to do with this, does it? It does. Only what's really happening right now is important. The past is just as important. It's extremely important. Because if you completely ignored it, you could possibly be just doing what you wanted to do in the first place. It's a really tricky situation. Satoko's being abused by her uncle. Why is something that happened in the past getting in the way of helping her now? Neither Sensei nor Rika had anything to say to that. Anyway, yesterday a probation officer visited to carefully determine what's going on. And Satoko dealt with them, put on the best, strongest smile she could manage, and denied the abuse. Of course, she had been was probably being threatened to keep quiet about it by her uncle. Satoko was trying to outlast everything without asking for help. Satoko wanted to wait for Satoshi to come back home. Yeah, she's mentally unstable. And she outright denied the truth of abuse. What an idiot. What? You're not really enduring it. Do you really think pretending like this will actually bring Satoshi back? Just stop it already. Satoshi, he abandoned you. And the fact he hasn't shown up to save you is now his proof, isn't it? So just stop it. Please, stop being weird and pretending to endure it. Forget everything we just said. Understand? If you tell anyone else, your teacher will be very mad with you. GA gave me a warning, then left to go back into the teacher's lounge. Keiichi, please don't think Satoko is a pathetic, pitiful girl. She is. She's living life. I know that. She's our irreplaceable friend. Satoko's still trying her best. Let's watch over her a little longer. Don't. Oh my god. Ugh. The person from the consultation center said they'd visit periodically from now on. If something terrible happens, they'll help her right away. Yeah, but only after it happens. You can say that about anything. Technically, the police only show up after something happens. You can't have, like, whenever a murder's about to take place, generally speaking, you can't get the police involved. They'll be like, okay, what's happening? Oh, this person's going to murder this person. How do you know? Is always the next question. Where are they? How do you know? What's the evidence? You have to have proof that it occurred, or that it will occur. It's very, very rare that crimes can be, like, predicted to happen. Very rare cases. Kind of like you can't have, like, you can have attempted rape, but it doesn't mean it was stopped. Usually rape happens after. The police go after it happens. You can't stop it right before and charge him with rape. because we can't see the future. If we could, then that's easily what could happen. But then, is it really against the law if they haven't broken any law yet? Even though they were going to. You have to wait until something bad happens. Firefighters, they wait until after a fire starts. They can't show up right before the fire starts and keep it from igniting. Paramedics don't come until someone gets injured. They can't show up right before someone gets injured and stops them from getting injured. It's just not how it works. That's how life is.